What is up, people? How are you doing today? Let's get into Quant. Quant is doing some stuff here in South Africa. Plus X non here. Let's get into it, beautiful people. So today, Quant said $111. Yeah, this ain't financial advice, just speculation and entertainment purposes only. Yeah, so there's a couple things that's going on with Quant, and I'm gonna tie into that quick. I'll get into that. So what we have here is digital ID for South Africa built on blockchain tech. This was 6 months ago. Uh, right. Well, what we have here is the bank that's gonna work with this and develop the digital IDs, APSA. So let's get into it. APSA says adopting a digital ID based on blockchain technology can help clamp down on the abuse of personal data, curb identity theft, and enable easier access to financial services. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You can pause it and read it. But yeah, AppSci is here, and they're working with Quant, Ripple, as well with BankServe, and for the CBDCs, yeah, they partners with Barclays, and Barclays have the infrastructure set up on RippleNet. So yeah, This you're touching your things. Bank is part using a self-sovereign digital identity system that uses secure electronic credentials used by relevant authorities such as home affairs, credit bureaus, financial service organizations. Right? Uh, yeah, that's what APSA is doing. Why do I think it's Quant that's going to be working to develop this digital ID? We'll get into that in a moment, right? There's just something else that I'll cover up on, yeah, that I found. Yeah, that's yeah. The bull on the 4 years of APSA's work with banks of other banks on multiple local global forums to set up an industry-wide governance framework for self-sovereign identity, including collaboration with the South African International Organization for Standardization to develop documentation that covers SSDI management, APSA said. Okay, so yeah, ISO is in there. Quant is part, ISO compliant, and I'll get into why I say it's Quant. You can see APSA Bank is working on developing this digital ID, right? So if we go into here, APSA joins Blockchain Foundation, right? This was actually a month back, literally a month back, that they've done this. Partnership. APSA has joined the Hyperledger Foundation to broaden its blockchain related knowledge and expand its network in the distributed ledger community. Now, if you're familiar, Hyperledger Foundation is Quant, and I'll just scroll down stuff here. You can pause this and go through it. For time wise, I'm going to be very, very short on this video because I actually want to tell people what Quant is actually doing. So I don't want to go too much into articles and stuff like that, right? But that's just Quant working on digital ID. Then yesterday, this came out: new driver's license to be introduced in South Africa in the next 18 months. Abulula says that. So, okay, let's get Transport Minister Fikile Mabalula has confirmed that South Africa will get a new driver's license card before the end of next year. Responding in a recent parliamentary Q&A, Mabula said the card will officially be launched in October 2023. He added that the project is being spearheaded by the Driving License Card Account which is trading entity responsible for production of driving license cards in South Africa. All right, and I think they go down to yeah. It says here the project will allow for adoption of digital technologies such as blockchain and other related technologies, which will form the platform and integrated transport system. Uh, Now, I know we're in 2022, and if I don't know if common sense is still common sense, but if Absa Bank, which is I just showed you working with Quant, right? You have the driver's license, and why I think it is Quant, and if you put two and two together, when you're going to apply for a driver's license, you need your ID. Now they're working with that. Now, if you're a first-time person there that's applying, you usually would take your ID and then go and apply for a driver's license. So, although there's no evidence to say that they're actually working with Quant, but common sense, yes, if you got one ID that's working with Quant, you definitely they will have to work with Quant as well because you're going to produce your ID to get your driver's license when you fill out that form and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not going to come out and tell you about Quant uh, at this specific moment. Yeah, they will not do that. But that's the technology we're looking at that they're working on doing. I'll just get into what Quant is and what they're doing. So we'll dive right into who is it for? Central banks, fintechs, trading. I'll stop right there. You can read that. How does it work? You can see funds are held in escrow with a financial institution and tokens to the same value issued minted on a private DLT. These funds can be used on any DLT on a mixture DLT, private or public, and Quant patented multi-ledger token technology is applied. This ensures that whatever the tokens are used, wherever the tokens are used, my bad, changes of ownership are recorded on the original DLT and a clear auditable record is maintained. The nature of MLT means that the tokens are open and can be used on new and different DLTs as they emerge or as use cases grow. This opens up the wild gardens of many e-money solutions, different DLTs. Now we know most of the stuff RippleNet does do, the XRP ledger does do, but yes, you have other options as well. They're not working. These projects are not working against each other. They're working with each other. Uh, if you look at the Swift system, which is the old system, there's not only Swift. They had multiple other network topologies and components that worked around with Swift. It's the same here. It's not just XRP. They are working with each other, supporting the new financial instrument ecosystem, and that's where these things come into play. They're telling you they have a multi-ledger token, which happens to be Quant, and then they talk about semi-decentralized. Uh, this Quant solution implements the IMF's semi-decentralized model for the central bank digital currency (CBDC). Yeah, so also semi-decentralized is similar to Quant, private and public. I mean, XDC, Zinfin is also, tied in with a new ecosystem, private, public, and Quant has the same options. They all, like I'm saying, they all work with each other. They don't work against each other. And I know there's maxis out there, but I don't care. What I'm telling you, this is one ecosystem. It's not just one token. So that maxi theory, I don't really give a shit about it. I'm here to give you raw and uncut news on what's really happening. not a maximalist perception. Who is it for? Companies and consortia connecting to more than one DLT. Examples include supply chains, payment platforms, and DeFi companies. Okay, reasonable there. Overledger integrates with all DLTs. So yeah, that's all involved in the business's processes. In the case of supply chains, for example, different DLTs might be used for procurement, logistic, provenance, customs, and payments, and these DLTs cannot communicate with each other. This means that new processes must be designed to enable them to work efficiently together. With, with Overledger, however, this problem is eliminated. A single API enables fast, easy development of applications that can use DLTs simultaneously using standard development cross-border supply chains. That's their solutions. I'm not going to go through all of this. Then the distributed ledger network DLN. The public DLT solutions use all the same standard API and formats, so adding support to more DLTs to your application is simple and needs no new learning or infrastructure. Overledger for Ethereum. Now, yes, eventually there was eventually built on Ethereum. I think they're moving away. They have their network is the QRC20 and not the ERC20, although they do talk about it. Yeah, and you can, look it up. You can pause this and see through that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, try to put Ripple XRP against QNT on Twitter, and it becomes a BS show on Twitter and all bullcrap. And for cloud chasing, the martheads on Twitter that love cloud chasing will put two projects against each other. Real martheads is what they are. You can see that these projects are working with each other and not against each other. They actually say Overledger for Ripple. Companies and developers that want to create apps which use the Ripple network. Right, fair enough, yeah. Overledger provides a standard API for working with Ripple. So again, customers do not need their own Ripple nodes or to learn the low-level interfaces, formats, and cryptography that are usually involved in developing applications for Ripple. Why Ripple? Ripple is typically used for cross-border payments and movement of funds. It is also used for other use cases, but it is primarily a financial network. Yes, that's where Ripple does on-demand liquidity, instant settlements. That's its function. What we're talking about today is digital ID and driver's license, and what BRICS nation South Africa is doing with Quant. You can literally see it in plain sight. Absa Bank working with this. Another dude that gives a good rundown on Quant is this dude XX underscore 1133 underscore 1221 underscore 11. Just give me a follow if you're on Twitter. He has really valuable information, and he touched on some stuff on Quant, and you can pause this and you can see what's going on. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. As you can see, cross-border supply chains, and like literally you can see how much work they're doing. Foundation development app plug and play, Hyperledger Fabric, data storage and exchange data. This is where your digital ID, driver's license comes in, and there's that gateway, for all the other protocols. Which keyword interoperability is what comes into mind. You have the multi-ledger, you have Bitcoin most widely used DLT and crypto cross-border payments for net. uh, Also host ECR tokens and smart contracts. So what we would see is, yes, I know there is Ethereum is going to move away. Something's happening there. I won't go into detail about that because that's a whole mess up what's going on there with Ethereum. But some of the tokens will migrate to QRC20, some will migrate to the XDC network and stuff like that. It's really good that they have this feature because on the Sandbar South African National Blockchain Alliance, they have consensus which is tied to Ethereum. So it's very interesting that you have the South African National Blockchain Alliance that works with all these digital ID and stuff. And you can see like Quant's gonna be in there. It's you can if you just piece it together, it's freaking common sense of what's going on. You can just if you connect the dots, you can really see what's going on. Here as well, they talk about different functions of the Hyperledger Foundation, which is in right here, part of Quant. Just have to go back. There, yeah, it tells you all of the functions. Supports many consensus protocols, including practical, Byzantine, fault tolerance, and proof of elapsed time. Hyperledger Sawtooth, that's one part of it. You can pause this and read this as well. For the sake of time, you can see all that's going on. Host enterprise grade blockchain, software projects, vendors, and end users, service providers, academics, and other can deploy on the blockchain networks. Right, we have that. You can see what's going on here. You can pause this. And then you have Hyperledger Indie. And this is where it all gets fun in this part. Provides tools, libraries, and reusable components for providing ID routing on blockchain and other DLs for keyword interoperability across admin domains and applications. Admin domains, licensing officers have admin domains that has your driver's license. Also, the place that your ID goes to, the home affairs, yes, as admin domains. And you can see like I said, Absa Bank was working with that uh, Hyperledger Foundation. So definitely, Quant is going to be big coming into this. Yeah, you can pause and check this out. Hopefully, all of you guys have a good day. I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one.